crack guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about the narrators that I want to have for audiobooks. In the past year or so I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. A lot more than I have previously in the past because they kind of scared me off because I always kind of thought that they were just kind of like bad radio plays and that it would just be like the same weird ass voice for all of the characters. In the past year or so I've been really getting into audiobooks. I've been loving them. I love listening to them on the treadmill. I love listening to them on the exercise bike. I love listening to them when I'm just going for walks or when I'm in work, which I'm really not supposed to be listening to anything. I just love them. They're great, especially when you don't have time to dedicate to a book. So you could just like multitask and do two things at once. You can listen and do whatever you have to. But it also got me thinking about who I would love to be narrating these books. The likes of Audible have an incredible array of voice actors who are incredible. January Lavoie, who does The Diviners, incredible. I love her doing those audiobooks. Rebecca Soler, who did The Lunar Chronicles, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I first started really listening to the audiobooks that I had because Emilia Fox was doing them, and she's one of my favorite actresses, and she has such a beautiful voice that when I first had my Audible account I downloaded pretty much any of the ones that she had, and now I have this whole library full of these incredible audiobooks by incredible voice actors. By the way, this is not sponsored, okay? It's simply that I just use Audible. But here are a few actors that I would love to do an audiobook. The first one is Paul Bettany. If you've never heard his voice, where have you been? He has been the voice of Jarvis in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for over 10 years. And he's also been Vision for the last 4 years, I think. His voice is so beautiful. Here is where I think they dropped the ball on capitalizing on his voice. He should have done the audiobooks for Inkheart by Cornelia Funke. There were 3 books in the Inkworld trilogy. There was Inkheart, Inkspell, and Ink Death. He should have done them all, especially because he plays Dustfinger in the movie. When I found out that Inkheart was a book, I was like, is there an audiobook read by Paul Bettany? There is not. Serious ball droppage. You heard me. And also, he could do the audiobooks for the Da Vinci Code. I'm pretty sure there's already audiobooks for the Da Vinci Code read by somebody that I'm sure is very talented. But it's just not Paul Bettany. An actress that I would just absolutely love to see do an audiobook is Shohreh Aghdashloo. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Her voice, Holy Sweet Mother of God, is incredible. Her voice is unmistakable. She has been in a lot of things that you probably didn't realize that she was in. She was in 24, she was in Star Trek Beyond, she was in Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters as the Oracle. She's been in Traveller, she's been in Will and Grace. She's just been on everything. Look at her IMDb and you will just be like scrolling. Yep, seeing that. Oh, that was her? That's her. That's her voice. It is unmistakable. And if I just had an audiobook with just her, even something like Joe Hill. I know Kate Mulgrew does his audiobooks, but just I wouldn't mind them taking like Kate Mulgrew off something and then putting Shohreh Aghdashloo into it. Liam Neeson could do audiobooks, and this is probably the only Northern Irish actor that I have on here because, to be perfectly honest, I kind of hate our accent. Like, I'm Northern Irish, okay? I don't particularly sound it. Whenever I go anywhere, people are legitimately stopping me mid-sentence going, what is your accent? Northern Irish, but I lighten it so that I'm easily understood, because when I go full Northern Irish on you, you'd know, because you wouldn't understand a bucking thing I was talking about. But Liam Neeson, I think, could do a great job as a narrator. It doesn't have to be anything by a Northern Irish author. It could just be by anybody that just suits his voice. And I just want it. Keeping on that thread of an Irish voice actor, Saoirse Ronan. I think she could do a very nice job. She's got a very light, lilting, almost like fairy accent from the south. It's just so nice. I love her accent. I really do. If there was one accent out of like all Irish and Northern Irish actors, it would either be Saoirse Ronan's or Katie McGrath's. But I don't know if Saoirse Ronan has done any audiobooks, because like for The Lovely Bones or Her Lovely Bones, whichever one, she's been in the film adaptation. She's been on like film adaptations of books plenty of times. I think, you know, that's a cash cow waiting to happen. Just get her to do the audiobook. Just like with Paul Bettany. Alan Tudyk should definitely do an audiobook, considering the voices that that guy can do. He's King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph. He is Hey Hey in Moana. Yes, the chicken in Moana had a voice actor. He's also Wash in Firefly. The man has a repertoire of voices. He is incredible. He's even what's-his-face in iRobot. I can't remember the robot's name in iRobot, but he's iRobot. So the dude can do voices. So you can just imagine what the audiobook that he would do would be like. And that's just one person doing it. Way to be articulate there, Kazzy. I know. Now the last 5 on my list are pretty much just fangirl wants. Not that I think particularly that anybody else would want these people as narrators, but I personally just do. The first is Robert Lawrenson. If you haven't heard Robert Lawrenson on my channel, then you haven't been around here long enough, because he's from Sanctuary. He plays Declan McCrae in Sanctuary, and he's actually a very gifted voice actor. On his website he has a demo reel of all his voices, and you would not know it's him. You really wouldn't. I think he does an amazing job with voices. He is very diverse. He can do, you know, like very like old ages, very baritone voices, very bass voices, very high pitched voices. He can just do them all. And then, you know, just when he's talking normally, he's got a very, very nice accent. Same with Peter Wingfield. He plays James Watson in Sanctuary, and I think, you know, if you don't get him to be a narrator for anything to do with Sherlock Holmes, just missing out. And Peter Wingfield is also an actor that you've probably seen but just hadn't realised it's him. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. He was in one of the Bourne movies. Editing Kaz, help me out here. When Peter Wingfield was in Sanctuary, he had a glorious accent, he has a glorious voice, just melts you. Probably like the weirdest kind of analogy ever, but I'm gonna go with it. Wonderful voice. You should do things like Sherlock Holmes. Same, like I know The Have got Benedict Cumberbatch to do a lot of Sherlock Holmes, but you know, I would personally prefer Peter Wingfield. I think Edward James Olmos should do an audiobook. Even if it's just the one, I think that would be amazing. Like, just for the crack, that would just be fantastic. Don't know what you would have him do, but I just think it would just be cracktastic. Yep. And the last person that I would love to have an audiobook by is Kate Blanchett. Blanchett? I'm not sure. I have never been the biggest fan of her. I haven't really. But then she played Hela in Thor Ragnarok, and just the command that she had over her voice in that movie, I was like, sold. I was sold. I was definitely hooked on her voice. She was just amazing in that movie. The accent that she had in it, the control that she had in her voice, you know, when she was able to go down in a register and then even just like on a plain register, she was just wonderful. And I would just love to listen to an audiobook by her, even if it was like 24 hours, 48 hours, you know. Give it to me. Give me it. So those are all of the actors that I would love to see do an audiobook. I just want to see them do an audiobook, especially the likes of Paul Bettany doing Inkheart. That was just a major feel. That was like marketing gold. Like, how they did not capitalize on that, I do not know. Let me know in the comments down below what actors you would love to have do an audiobook, and if you have a specific book in mind that you would love to have them do an audiobook for. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and click that bell icon so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video, and I will see you soon with a new video.